Hello and welcome to this thing that I'm doing. I don't really know what it is. I've never been good at starting videos. So, what I wanted to do was basically just chat about what I've been up to in the last week. What I was meant to be doing is working on my new video. That didn't happen because of some technical issues. Those technical issues being called God of War coming out. So I just wanted to talk about the game generally because I've been having so much fun with it. I've completed it now. It's amazing. This isn't a review really. I just wanted to generally just chat about it. This is going well, isn't it? So when E3, when was it? E3 2017, it was announced and they showed a little clip of it. It was basically the first 15 minutes or so of it. Or it was the first 15 minutes or so of it. And it was drastically different from God of Wars we've seen in the past. I tried to play the first 3 God of Wars. I couldn't really get into them, not through much fault of the game. It was more of my inability to play hack and slash games. I've never really been good at them. It's just the mashiness of it all just seems a bit mashy. But then I saw this preview of the game and the game looked, drastically different. It seemed to take on that more, the Uncharted look that we've seen. You know, it's the over-the-shoulder angle with a companion where exposition is kind of doled out throughout gameplay, more so than cutscenes. Although there are obviously plenty of them too. So yeah, I was intrigued and it seemed different and cool, and no one knew if it was a reboot or not because it seemed to be set in Norse mythology, whereas God of War is usually set in Greek mythology. Obviously that turned out to be a sequel. So I was really interested, but I didn't read anything up until then. I didn't read anything after that because I tend not to do that. I do this thing of I tend to just not read anything. Not because I'm not interested, not because I'm trying to avoid spoilers. It's just something I've never really done unless it's something like The Legend of Zelda, which I just can't help myself with. And about 4 months ago I saw that it was coming out soon, and I just generally wanted to play it. And I don't usually buy games full price when they come out because you can buy a £50 game and be done with it in like 3 days, and that's just a waste, I feel. And then the reviews came out and everything seemed really positive. It was really good. It was the highest rated PS4 game of all time, which is crazy because if you've seen my first video on Uncharted 4, I love that game, and that was the best PS4 game to me. So how could anything top that? Wrong. So then it came out and I started playing it, and I expected to play it while I was editing my new video. You know, just something on the side. Fun to do while I'm editing through this. And then that's all I did. I just played it because it was so much fun. You switch the game on and it's kind of it just sucks you in immediately. Obviously we've got a different Kratos this time. It's not a different Kratos. He's not a different Kratos. He's the same. Kratos. Yeah, he's a much calmer Kratos. He has a son now, so he's obviously done that thing of
I'm an angry man who's going to destroy the gods of Greece.
Which is another reason why I couldn't get into those games. He just seemed very one-dimensionally angry constantly, whereas this one he seems like an actual human being. So it's you and your son, and one thing I did pick up on as well is that the camera never really strays from Kratos. That even when there's cutscenes, it's always kind of got him as the main focal point, which is really cool. It's kind of an interesting artistic choice, and I'm sure one that was really hard for the director to keep, because it's 50 hours of gameplay. And that's another thing as well. I didn't expect it to be as long as it was. I didn't expect a lot of these things. I didn't expect it to be an RPG. I didn't know there was a level up system, or as expansive as it was. I didn't know it was going to be somewhat open world. It is linear to a point, but then you get to an open world hub, and then you can just explore that. I must have explored it for 15 hours altogether. And then you go off these paths, and those bits are somewhat linear, but there's so much to explore in the meantime. and it's just really cool. I've always been interested in Norse mythology. I've always been interested in all kinds of mythology. That's why I've got this thing there. When I got really into Egyptian mythology, couldn't tell you a thing about it now, but at the time I was really fascinated with it. So yeah, I've just been interested in those kind of things. And the combat as well is much different, because in the first games you were kind of, massive angle up here. You were just a little man just smashing away. Kratos is angry and smashing. Whereas this, it's a lot more, I think it kind of plays like Dark Souls. I've never played Dark Souls, but obviously I've seen enough to know that it kind of looks like that. It's very dodgy. Rolls and dodges. Doing Kratos rolls. But you've got all kind of things you can use. You've got your Leviathan axe, which is definitely the coolest weapon that we've had in video games for a while, because you can throw that thing and recall it like Thor. Like, as soon as that happened, I was like, I'm in. I can throw my axe as far away as possible, hack down like 7 villains. Villains? Seems a bit weird. Seems a bit cartoony, that, doesn't it? Hack down like 8,000 demons, recall them, slash them all back up again, and just catch it. It's just cool. Really, really cool. That's what excites me. You can use your bare hands and just smash things up. You can do Sparta kicks. Sparta, because the old games. And you can use your shield and maybe some other stuff as well. And then you can pick up, you've got enchantments that you can put on your weapons to upgrade them, give them more stat boosts and such. And you've also got the kid that you can use. He's got a bow and arrow, and on your command you can make him shoot people with arrows and also summon things to help you along your way. So there's a lot going on, and usually I wouldn't really be able to handle all that. There's just too much going on, again, like the first one. But there seems to be a bit more foundation to it. There seems to be a bit more sturdiness. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The point is, it's all accessible. In the first games, it's just square, triangle, circle, X. Whereas in this one, you've got your throw, you've got your dodge, you've got your light attacks, heavy attacks, and you can combine all. So if you dodge and then press a light attack, he'll do another attack, and then you can hold the buttons. You can combine them all, and it just seems really fluid and cool. And I don't need to tell you that when you throw your axe into someone, run up to them, hit them with your shield, throw them in the air, recall it back to them and slice them up. It's just a good, fun family time. The story as well, again, when I first saw that E3 trailer, it seemed like a lot more a deep emotional story. The same with Uncharted. There was the first 3 games were kind of, just fun, somewhat light-hearted action adventure, and then the 4th one went really deep into the characters' backstories and what they are about. It was a very personal, emotional story, and it's the same with this. Really, it is a very personal story. It's not. You'd think the game was about, this person's after me, so I'm gonna smash him up. But the actual main point of the game is to not fight people. It's just to get this thing done with your son. I don't want to spoil anything, even though it's probably in the trailer, but I'm not going to say it regardless. So you've just got this one little thing that should only take a couple of hours or a couple of days, really, but there are other things at play and that you learn as the story progresses. What I will say is that it's Norse mythology, so as you can imagine, there's a lot of talk of Thor and Odin. The world itself is just really, it's amazing. It's obviously beautiful. Just mountains of snow and just crazy waterfalls and massive rivers and lakes. I didn't expect it to be as big as it was. Like I said, I've played it for 50 hours, maybe even more. I thought this was going to be a 12-hour game. Like I said, I didn't read anything on this. I didn't read anything, so I didn't know it was going to be this massive game. And I was really surprised, and all I wanted to do was just explore and find all these secrets, because it was just so much fun traveling this world, and they keep you occupied as well. It's not just, there's a mechanic where you're rowing your boat a lot. That's how you kind of traverse across the lands, and you would expect that to be quite boring because there's a lot of time where you're going from one area to the next, but they have all these stories that they tell. Kratos will like tell a story to his son, or the son will go, "Ooh, what's this?" And then later on there's another thing that they add that adds more kind of just light exposition to flesh out the world, which I found really enjoyable. There's also loads of collectibles, which again expands on the world, and like all these things kind of just tie together. And by the end of it, if you've got everything, which I haven't, but I've got quite a few bits, you know a lot about Norse mythology, which may not be interesting to you, but someone finds it interesting. So I think it's really cool that, you know, you have all these fake worlds, but we forget that there are actually real mythos in our own world. So that's kind of cool. I'm rambling, to be honest. What am I talking about? Anyway, the point is, it's a really, really good game. Obviously, you already know that it's the highest rated PS4 game ever, so I don't know why you need me to tell you to go get it. And that's not my job to do. Like I said, this isn't a review. This was just my thoughts and feelings on it, and I just really enjoyed it. I'm really sad that I've completed it now, because when you play a game for 50 hours, it does something to you. You dedicate that much time to something, it's hard when it just goes. So I'm very much looking forward to the next one. It seems to be kind of where they're going. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I'm very excited regardless. So yeah, that's what we've done here. We've rambled about it. I've rambled about it. You've survived. They're all gone, aren't they? So thank you for listening and watching. I know this wasn't the usual that you get from me, but I thought I just wanted to come and talk about my feelings. I didn't want to do a massive Penguin in a Broth review for God of War, because I wouldn't know where to start, but also I don't really know if that's the direction I'm going with it at the moment. As you can probably tell, you've not watched my videos. What am I talking about? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this for some reason, if you're some kind of sadist that likes being tortured by nonsensical ramblings, then subscribe below. I'm sure I'll do more of this. But yeah, thank you. I'm Jim, by the way. I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning.